Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed the last Magical Girl Explains video. Yeah, sorry that Catalina wasn't doing it. She was supposed to do it, but she was being a lazy pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for saying that. But anyways, enough of friend talk. Let's get started with Nemu Hiiragi's story and info. Nemu Hiiragi is an 11-year-old magical girl whose height is 149 centimeters tall. Her eye color is violet while her hair is light brown, and she originates from St. Ward in Kimihama City. Her soul gem is a red-orange circular gem located on her hat tassel. Her weapon is a book. Her witch and doppel is Pennen Nenemu. Her wish is to have the power of manifest. I wish for the power to manifest. Allow us to take that from you, Cube. Her known relatives name is an unnamed father, mother, and younger brother. She attends Young Educational Academy, and she is in the 5th grade. Her magical element is the forest element, and her ability is realization to create rumors. A magical girl who is working to create a world without witches. Nemu started writing stories just trying to seek some approval. It wasn't until she posted the same stories online that she became known as a literary genius. Her dream is to wrap the world in her stories, literally. The Doppel of Dying Wishes. Its form is a death watch beetle. The master of this emotion will sacrifice everything she has. The terrifying doppel uses both of its big-headed hands to devour the stories of the world. It can then use these ridiculous power to materialize these stories into the real world. It is said its power comes from its weakening master, and that as she gets weaker, the doppel gets stronger. However, since it uses all of its power to materialize the story it eats, it doesn't pack a physical punch. Some even believe it wouldn't stand a chance against a direct hit from a witch. In the main story of Magical Accord, Nemu's role is being one of the leaders of the Wings of Magius. Though, from what I know, Nemu only appeared in Neo Atamiki's flashbacks, where she's in the hospital with Toka and Ui, showing how Nemu always fights a lot with Toka and Ui having to break it up, but yet they still are good friends. However, Nemu reappears in Chapter 7. It's confirmed her status as one of the mages in Chapter 7, Part 17. It's also revealed that it is Nemu who created the rumors invading Kamihama City at the cost of her own life force. Nemu's story will contain spoilers to the main story. You have been warned. Side story begins with Nemu and Toka discussing about the Eve's growth while inside its barrier. The labyrinth's ability to keep Eve hidden from the public eye will not hold much longer, and the impurities present inside the labyrinth is making every Magius member inside the barrier very sick. And Mifuyu suggests they leave now. For now. Once outside, Wings of Magius members began talking about the other problems. Mifuyu notes that with the increasing difficulty of managing all the growing feathers, leading to the cases of miscommunications, so they need to act before a rebellion phase rises. Toko mentions her struggles with the creation and managing bases that are scattered across Kamihama. Nemu suggests another idea. Instead of recruiting more leaders. They will create a single large enough base to greet every single member of the Magius within. While Toka says it's impossible despite her having a living quarters for Mifuyu. Nemu says she can create a large castle. Toka questions briefly on what Nemu meant, but guesses Nemu means she will make another rumor. Mifuyu asks if the project is possible. Nemu says she will not have enough to maintain a large structure, and so she will keep writing sequel after sequel in order to maintain the castle's essence. Other Magius members began discussing about the contents, such as a studio by Alia, a laboratory by Toka, and a bathhouse by Mifuyu. Nemu retorts by having them ask themselves if such places will truly be coherent with their plans. Toka returns to the question to Nemu and asks what kind of room would be best for the castle, but Nemu has no idea. Later, Nemu comes back home. Her mother and younger brother arrive shortly after and apologize for being late, but Nemu says that it was no big deal. Nemu begins to help her mom make dinner. Nemu's brother and mother began talking about school during dinner. Nemu's younger brother asked his mother if she could come to her school festival and watch him do some cool tricks with a yo-yo. Nemu also offers her attendance. This gets her a reluctant nod from her brother. Nemu's brother asks his mom if she could help him with his homework, but Nemu says he should. Her mother says that he should ask Nemu since she believes that her daughter is smarter than she. But her brother refuses. Nemu's mother insists, but Tyre still has to wash the dishes. But Nemu decides to wash them instead, while her mother helps her brother do homework. Back in her bedroom, Nemu thinks of strugglings the Magius members made for the contents of the base, and dealing with them is difficult even if they mean no harm. She gets surprised by her reaction. The following day, Mifuyu asks Toka if they should think of a name for the base. Tsukuyo remembers the perfect name in nature do often agree. She convinces everyone to think of a name together. Mifuyu suggests the name Hope's Health, but is shot down by Alia and Toka, who think it's a old lady's idea. Tsukuyo berates Mifuyu and then goes on her idea of the name the Magius Land of Love and Hope, but Alia says the name is very lame. Tsukasa decides to average her sister and suggests the Feather's Respite, a taste of love and hope, but Alia gives her a new one as well. Nemu suggests that Alia stops there since she's already won the fight. Mifuyu asks Alia for her idea. Alia replies with Studio of Little Hope. Nemu likes the name, finding the name elegant. Mifuyu asks Toka what she thought of it, and Toka replies with Hope Observatory. The rest of the Magius turn to hear Nemu's suggestion, which she offers it as Fenthope. Everyone draws out the meaning of the name Fenthope, and from this, Mifuyu conjectures the name is adequate. That will mean something different to whoever hears the name. Everyone agrees to make Fenthope the name of the secret base, but Nemu reveals she already created an Urasa before they could discuss the name. Everyone was upset, but Nemu had feared that witches they have gathered will be discovered and had acted quickly to prepare that in case if it were to happen in the future. Mifuyu apologizes for her hasty constructions, but Nemu tells her not to worry. The Amani sisters complain that they didn't even need to come up with the name in the first place. It already had one. Nemu apologizes for upsetting them, but wanted to hear everyone's own opinion. Dada is also glad that the name keyword Hope. Nemu treasures them afterwards, that she will check on all of them first before making additions to the base. She says if for now only the underground chapel exists, but she can add to it with the sequels she mentioned. The only day to the structure, everyone was happy that their own suggestions will come into fruition one day. But Toka fears the initial objective they had set upon. Nemu is the promoted again on the base she wanted, as they never really got an answer that other day. She thinks that as long as everyone is with her saying her name, she doesn't mind what kind of base it will become. It feels like home to her either way. However, she wants the place to be dedicated to her activities. She eventually says she wants no company or school, and that she just wants it to be a nice place with her friends, which can also serve as a battleground where they are the employees and the witches they raise are the customers. She finally settles on the of the hotel and finally dubs the base Hotel Fluent Hope. In a brief flashback, it shows Nemu talking to a white feather for her impeccable service, bestowing her with various gifts, such as one of her books. Back in the present, she ponders about her current progress, but it suddenly gets a jolt of pain that makes her flinch. It reveals that the pain is coming from when using some of her life energy to make the mysterious water woman. Despite all the progress the mages have made, Nemu still feels empty inside. She ponders on the emptiness to amid several hypotheses, but none of them prove entirely satisfactory to her. She consults that she does not feel conscious remorse over on one's own actions, but rather a personal problem. She ponders about the cost of her wish and the massive amount of energy that was required to put the plan into fruition. She ponders about the magical girl's reliability as a bashful internet magi would be like someone who has signed the contract without reading it. With the conclusion, she dismisses her emptiness and believes it has no such place when she is working towards the liberation of magical girls. Nemu watches as people go on with their daily lives, and she laments their ignorance. Suddenly, Nemu is contacted by the same white feather she had congratulated the other day. The ledger has claimed that she is struggling with a witch and would like help with Nemu's assistance. To watch, the ledger agrees. She laments and states of the world again before heading off. When Nemu arrives, she meets up with a black feather at the scheduled location. Nemu has not sensed any particular energy signature, and the black feather there states that the witch had moved. While it was being escorted to the location alongside with another black feather, Nemu asks if they felt empty out of the pure curiosity and resents them that she will not evaluate them based on their reply to the question from her. Black Feathers reply saying when they found out that the burden of their wishes and their eventual fates, and the fact that they couldn't go back to the way they were once they made the contract to become a magical girl, they have given up on fighting completely. After crying and screaming about all the that remained of nothing. However, Nemu thinks she is not the same as them. They soon find the witch and the white feather fighting inside. The black feathers comment how the witch is outside of Kamihama, but Nemu reassures all of them that she can handle the witch no problem. Once inside the labyrinth, Nemu meets up with the struggling white feather. Nemu asks the white feather to stand back as she dealt with the witch herself, but the feather refuses. Nemu insists, reminding her that she became part of the Magius so she could be saved, and that she should value her life more. The white feather says that losing Nemu will be losing one of the Magius leaders. Nemu soon complies to let the feather help, but asks the white feather to be careful. The witch is soon defeated. The black feathers praise Nemu for their hard work. Nemu offers to give them the grief seed from the fight, but the feathers doubtfully, as they haven't done anything, absolutely nothing in the first place. Nemu then explains that this is a repayment due to the white feather having unfortunately lost her life in the battle. Nemu thinks about the last words the late white feather spoke. She mulls over how she lost her life. But now none of the world knows of this. If a magical girl saves someone, no one will even notice, as countless people pass by her without noticing. She finally understands what the emptiness is due. No one here to acknowledge the achievements as magical girls or what they even doing in the first place. Flashback of Nemu during Toka's and Ui's hospitalization. They watch Nemu's newly published story raise in views, while Toka mentions that specific tools such as the keyboard section, social media, and such engines helps bolster a work valuability, but they are meaningless in the face of work quality. Ui sums this up by saying that Nemu's work must be loved by many people if she gets that many reads and so many positive comments. Ui talks with Nemu about her latest story and says she might do a mystery novel in the same universe as the previous finished romance novel. Nemu says she will be using elements such as urban legends and add a valuable to the story. Ui thinks it's scary, but she thinks Nemu's fans will love it. Toka says they received an email, but Nemu knows she did not let out her email address. Toka says she did that for Nemu. Then this made Nemu very angry, but Toka explains by that they might draw in more reviews by sharing Nemu's email and receiving messages, and that as admin, she can do whatever she wanted to do. Ui says that one email is from a publisher and that they wanted to talk to Nemu. Ui is delighted as this could mean the beginning of Nemu's career as an author. However, Nemu asks them to ignore the email, having no interest or entering the business despite the tempting protest of covering her medical bills. Nemu wants to keep things the way they are. Because of this, Nemu loves exchanging comments with people and thinks going professional will dispense herself away from them. Toka insists that she accepts the offer, mostly because she thinks that she will slightly unrelatable herself, especially with a proofreading sense. Nemu writes everything by hand. Nemu thanks them for her hard work, nothingness, and Toka decides to respect Nemu's decision not to become a professional. Ui is surprised because the two didn't end up bickering, but Toka says she has no business trying to make something so prestigious away from Nemu. A nurse enters the room and informs Nemu that her family is here to see her. Nemu's mother greets her. Toka and Ui watch as Nemu's mother offers her daughter a new set of pajamas, alongside the book Nemu had wanted. The mother explains that the book was surprisingly troublesome to find, and Nemu apologizes about all the trouble she had got her mother into. It's her mother's assistance that she ended up finding it, but Nemu asked her not to put them through work that is too harsh. Nemu's mother invites Nemu's brother to talk with her, but he doesn't have much to say. She comments about how he's so quiet at the hospital when he's usually such a low rascal, but she eventually decides to drop it and leave him be. Nemu is eventually told by her mother that their next visit won't be for a while, as she, alongside Nemu's father, are getting pretty busy. Nemu worries about her parents' health, but her mother relents her that he loves his job, and that if things go sour, she'll fly over and give her husband's manager a smack in the face. Nemu wonders if that's truly right. Nemu's brother reminds her mother, however, that he promised his friends he'll play soccer with them, which prompts them to leave early. Nemu's mother hopes her entire family to be reunited again so they could go do sports together, as Nemu's family is athletic. She asks if Nemu is getting along with Toka and Ui, to which she replied with a yes. After they go, Nemu apologizes to Toka and Ui for her mother's talkative tendencies. Ui says it's no big deal, but looks uncomfortable. Toka eventually snaps and complains about Nemu's family coming and saying that they're athletic in her face, and that not a single second have they stopped talking about themselves. The only thing related to Nemu being if the three of them got along. Ui retorts that Nemu's mom shouldn't have any malicious intentions, to which Nemu agrees, believing that she's a positively for her to feel positive as well. Toka is still annoyed, but Nemu explains this is currently her only connection with the outside world and her family, and that she treasures it. She laments only how she's looking down on her parents, but Ui says that she's overthinking it. She can't stand seeing Nemu cry and knows she wants them to ask her more about her life. Toka agrees and Nemu sighs, knowing she can't hide anything from them. She complains about all the efforts they put into their own life, and that this created Nemu to become aliened from their experience. Without wanting to feel greedy, she nonetheless feels the distance from them. Due to the fact they only specifically remember her, she feels like as the time goes on, she'll be distanced from them more and more. Ui apologizes, but asks Nemu to be a little more honest with her and rely on her more when she feels bad. Nemu says that as time goes by, she might become a stranger to our family. She mentions her brother's aloof behavior as an example for how he doesn't consider her as a member of the family. Ui apologizes again for making Nemu's feel bad, but Toka says it's not her fault, but Nemu's family. Later at night, while she's asleep, Nemu had an attack. Toka and Ui hastily tried to get a doctor to see her, but once they were there, they ordered to return to their rooms. Ui still worries about Nemu, but Toka asked her to listen to the doctors, as there's nothing more either of them can do. As Nemu dreams through her pain, she has visions of Ui and Toka calling her name, then her mother. She thinks about how she how these dreams and if they are merely illusions. Fabricated by her emotions, everyone now and then, she dreams of her mother calling out for her, reaching out for her, caring for her, and forgetting time. It turns out that in these moments, Nemu's mother was in fact really by her side. Nemu's ability is realization. It was not explained from my research of how Nemu's ability works normally. From what we do know is her power allows her to create rumors from the stories she makes, turning those into wasas, so there is a side effect. Nemu has to use her life force to create them, to give them life. This makes her very weak than other magical girls. To this, using her life force kind of reminds me of Chidori from Persona 3, of how she created her, about how she cared about Junpei when he was shot by Tanaka, and she gives up her life force to save him. This ends up killing her as she sacrificed herself to save Junpei's life. That me feels like a similarity between these two characters that builds up the meaning of Nemu's ability of realization, but by creating new life it insists of healing it and receiving it from the dead to break of death. Nemu's last name means holy. Her first name is a homophonous, which is the word to sleep. This could tie in a disdain that goes with creating rumors, which causes her to sleep. Fact 1. Her design along with Toka and Alias is based around a prison. Her design is particular represents the prisoner, as she has a chain ball attached to her ankle. Fact 2. Her doppel bears a less striking but still a certain resemblance to Itawa's doppel, Giovanni. Much like Toka's, this has been revealed in the guidebook to be because Nemu, alongside Toka, being inspired by Itawa to become a magical girl and wishing to save Itawa from her fate of magical girls. Nemu is the fourth magical girl to have her name in her witch name. Pennen Nenemu, followed by Teruno, Yuhan, Homura, Homorility, and Ren, Retra. Fact 4. Her doppel name is a reference to a work of Kenji Miyazawa titled Biography of Pennen Nenemu. It can refer to Nemu being one of the Meiji leaders. Her doppel also slightly looks like an owl, which have been wisdom symbols ever since Pentelis Adina. Fact 6. In Nemu's transformation sequence, she writes Devil's Advocate in the air with her finger. Fact 7. The story is about a character Nenum. He is a ghost who lives in the ghost world. The world is different. It's a different dimension from the world humans live. And although ghosts can appear in the human world, it is a crime to appear without permission. Nenum loses his parents by a famine and his sister by a kidnapper, and is employed as a proletarian. He quits his job after working for 10 years and then raises to be a position of the Chief of Justice of the world. He does a fine job that all citizens praise, and this is the progress reunites him with his sister. But he later becomes loaded with authority, slips and appears into the human world from his seat. He laments his failure and declares his religion. Fact 8. Nemu's Japanese voice actor is Shimere Moshishoshi. Her known roles are being Tsubasa Kasaraki in the franchise Aikatsu, in Aikatsu Stars, Miku in Miko in Fairy Tail Zero, in episode 8 of Pop Team Epic as Papiko. Her English voice actor is Mela Lee, who's most notable for voicing Yuki Cross in Vampire Knight, Kanane Yu Bayashiki in Demon Slayer, and in the Blue Blaze series as Rachel Alucard. Now we arrive at the end of her story. I hope you enjoyed the next magical girl after Nemu. You might already know from the Iwa Tamaki story info. And finally, we have reached Ui Tamaki. So next time, Ui Tamaki's story and info explained. See you next time, and make sure to leave a comment and like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. I also got a playlist, but if you don't subscribe, that's okay. Thanks for watching the video and all that stuff. I'll just go sit in the corner and just slowly say goodbye. Oh yeah, also a quick update. So I'm currently working on expanding the character info series that's similar to this series. I'm working on 2 edition versions of it, and that's for Genshin Impact and Pretty Cure. I hope you enjoyed those videos, as I'll be starting with Futari Ra Precure, Cure Black's character, and then for Genshin Impact I'm gonna start with Alberto. So I hope you see those videos coming out. Just want to make a quick update about that. So bye. Also, if you want to see more of that for extending this type of series to other animes and such, I'll do that. Just comment down below if you want me to do that, okay? So see ya.